Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Bob Pompeani. Have a lot to discuss today. We will get into the Pitt Panthers as they lost again yesterday, setting up a game against Notre Dame this week. And there's an interesting thing about Kenny Pickett, who may be able to return next year, believe it or not. We'll talk about that. But the #1 and #2 topics tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown will be the Steelers, off to an impressive 5-0 start, the first time since 1978. And here to discuss is your panel. Rich Walsh over in the Sports Call studio, Andrew Fillipponi up at the Fan, and Colin Dunlap from his house as he's getting ready to go to bed. He's got to be up soon, you know, because he's got the Fan Morning Show. We'll do all of that. Gents, let's start right with the big news of the day. Yes, they won. It was impressive. We'll get to that. But, Andrew, they lost one of their key guys on defense, and that would be Devin Bush. Out for the season, is going to need surgery. Just a massive blow to a player who is going to be significant to them. However, the question now becomes, what do they do? Do they stick with what they have? Do they go out and look for somebody else? Because the Steelers typically like to have the guys who've been in their system for a couple of years, and they have some young guys who can handle that. And Spillane looked up for the challenge, at least he did today. What would you do?
Yeah, I'd look for a stopgap. I mean, it's not like Minka Fitzpatrick where you can trade a first-round pick for a guy and get somebody young, because eventually you'll get Bush back in the fold for 2021. I'm thinking bigger picture, guys. I thought Spillane was fine today, and I think against teams that are run-heavy like Tennessee and Baltimore, you can get by with Vince Williams and Spillane. But if this game taught me anything or reinforced anything, it's that the Steelers are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. And I think they're going to need guys like Devin Bush if and when they run into Kansas City. With all of their options in the passing game, they don't want to run it 40 times a game like Tennessee, Baltimore, and Cleveland. They want to air it out, and I think you need somebody in the middle of the field for those matchups. So you won't find a Devin Bush in a trade, but you should go look for somebody to be a stopgap right now.
I'll say this. Devin Bush was never great against the tight end running with him anyway. I was surprised. I never thought I'd say this. I'll stick with Spillane. And because I think he can be good enough, and I think Vince Williams can be great. And, Bob, I think you're probably the only guy on the panel that will remember this. Do you remember when Chad Brown got hurt and Jerry O came in?
Yeah.
And he was good enough. They needed good enough. They didn't need Jerry O to be great. They needed him to be good enough. I honestly think Spillane can be good enough, and I'd roll the dice with him.
Well, guys, this was the one guy they couldn't lose on defense because they're so thin at inside linebacker, in my opinion. I don't think Spillane, a combination of Spillane, Ulysses Gilbert, and Marcus Allen can get the job done. They have to go out and get someone.
Gilbert can't even get a helmet on game day, Richie.
I know.
That shows you how much they feel about him.
No,
Yeah,
but he had a good training camp, and I think they really like the way he's going.
How about Clay Matthews? He's available. What about him?
Can't play inside. Not an inside guy. He's an outside rusher.
Well,
He's
then
not
who's out there that could
potentially
work for them?
I honestly don't think they're
going
going
to come off of IR. And I'm sure somebody will say that Sean Lee's coming off of IR soon to make a trade. But, you know, it's going to get to Pittsburgh Steelers fans want to trade Justin Lane, or they want to trade a 2071 7th-round pick for Mike Singletary or Sam Mills. And it's just not going to happen.
Well, you know what I would do, Colin? I think they got, because look, we know that to say that Spillane can be a facsimile of Bush isn't right, because they traded up in the draft to 10 to get Bush. That's how important they thought he would be for their defense. What I think they should do in the meantime is, can we find a way to get 3 safeties on the field at the same time in situations where we know the other team is going to pass the ball? For example, it might make sense to me to have a combination of Sutton, Edmonds, and Minka on the field at once. Or how about Edmonds, Minka, and Sean Davis?
Yeah, and they like Marcus Allen back to do that too. They've used him in that kind of situation.
To me, you might want to move Edmonds down to linebacker. That's what I might do in the meantime. Edmonds, I think, projects in 2020 as more of an inside linebacker than a safety. He can be a hybrid guy. So I think that might be the way they get around that until they find somebody maybe in a trade.
Marcus Allen's been practicing there too.
Correct.
So he could
but he
be an
stinks.
option. Well,
listen, the one thing I know about the Steelers is they will be patient with guys who they believe can develop, and it's served them well over the years. They've been able to retain guys, and some of these guys have occupied good spots on their roster at minimum price. So I think that's the way they'll go. We'll see. Time will tell, but I understand your point, Pony. All right, so now let's talk, Colin, about the game itself. To me, this was a defensive masterpiece the way they did it. They really did. I mean, it was outstanding the way they stopped the run. And if you can do that on a regular basis, which so far they've done in 5 games basically, you can be successful all the way through your season. How important was this effort, and did it convince you that they were going to be one of the top teams in the AFC?
Well, it did, and it also convinced me that Cleveland were quitters. I thought Cleveland quit when they got down. I really did. I thought their effort went downhill, and I thought that they quit. They wanted to go home at halftime. I'll tell you what, it convinced me that the corners we were probably a little bit too hard on the corners at times. I thought they did a pretty good job, a very good job. And the interior guys are super, particularly along the front 7. But I thought it was a big game for the corners, and they needed to play well, and they did.
Hey, guys, last week you weren't on the show. I called the Browns paper champions, and I got crushed by the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh backers of the Cleveland Browns on Twitter and Facebook and whatever it might be. They're paper champions. I didn't think they were that good. I knew the Steelers were going to win this. I felt really comfortable that the Steelers were the better team. And now they're definitely in the heads of a guy like Baker Mayfield. I don't want to call them pretenders. It seems like they're a good team, but the Steelers are a much better team. And the big thing for me, what set the tone today, was Minkah Fitzpatrick. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but that play right there, he read it perfect. He was in the film room a lot this week and really studied.
Well, yeah.
Really studied Baker Mayfield.
That play was so important because not only did Minkah arrive and make his first big contribution of the season, Richie, but it also put the Browns in a 10-0 hole. And it put, I think, their star quarterback, it created doubt in his mind, and he wasn't even 100% physically for this game. We know Cleveland's a front-running team. They don't win with their #1 overall pick. Mayfield's a fraud. They're a run-first team. They've got to run the ball to win, and when you get in a hole like that, it's not going to happen. I thought
it was a
Hayward
stupid throw to begin with. It was a third and 5.
It was
so
dumb
down for Cleveland.
Well, right, exactly. It's all year it's been. Hayward and Tuitt, I thought, delivered on the promise of their contracts today. I thought they were outstanding. And what we really learned, Bob, is that there are haves and have-nots in the AFC North. It's the Steelers and Ravens who both blew out the Browns, and then the 2 Ohio teams underneath them.
And you can argue the Steelers still have not played a very good football team yet. You can make that argument based on
but they're 5-0, Bob.
No, I'm just
you just
saying
win with
that
what's in
as
front
a
of you,
jab
right?
to Cleveland, Rich. That's why I'm saying it. Yes, they're 5-0, and I thought they were going to be a contender for the Super Bowl. I mean, 12-4 was my pick. I'm sticking to that. They will have some tough times, and they got 3 tough games coming up. We're going to delve into that and also talk about some of the offensive contributions today. We got a lot to talk about. This is your place to listen to us right here every Sunday night. It's the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. We'll be right back. The #1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by #1 Cochran. Go one better. And by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.